Hi, this is Farzeen and welcome to India Today. I have with me the team of Black Warrant. Firstly, congratulations. Without promotions, you guys just came in
Thank
out
you.
of nowhere and just rocked
Thank
it.
you.
Everyone was hooked on the weekend watching the show. Vikram, I'll ask you first, how did the idea come that you wanted to adapt this book into a show?
So the book came first, more than the idea. So the book landed up in my lap. I have some very nice friends who passed it on to me. Josie Joseph and the people at Confluence, and they for some reason thought I was the right guy to do this. I read the book, I loved it. I immediately passed it on to Satyanshu here, and I said that should we do something about this? And then we were off to the races.
Satyanshu, you want to carry forward, how did it develop into Black Warrant then?
Yeah, we are talking about first COVID wave when this happened.
Oh.
And I read the book and I couldn't believe that I get to work with him, but
Yeah.
I get to work on this book. So I was extremely elated. Around that time, Chintu ka birthday had released, and I remember being happier with this than the release of the film.
Actually, I get it.
And then, and then of course, reading the book many times, and then spending many hours with Sidhant Gupta, many hours,
Yeah.
reading 20 other books, and that's how.
Amazing. And tell me, when it landed to you, like what was like the audition process for you? Which was that scene that you auditioned for, if you want to share?
Yeah, sure. So I gave the audition in August, I believe, for the Hiya's part, and it was that scene where I teach him the cuss word. I asked him to, yeah. That was one scene, and there was one scene with, I don't know, should I reveal it? I don't know.
No,
Now
okay.
people are more-
Affair,
Okay.
that affair scene. One was the affair scene. There were two scenes I auditioned for. So yeah, normal process. Bheem from MCCC, Mukesh Abad casting company called. He didn't brief me much because honestly, he was like, "आप पढ़ोगे समझ आ जाएगा." Everything was there in that scene. लिखा हुआ था. You can actually
Yeah.
make sense कि ऐसा ही बंदा है, यही करता होगा. It was बहुत easy, simple लिखा हुआ. The writing is so good कि you don't like कुछ करने की जरूरत है नहीं. And that affair scene, I had to ask a few questions कि कितने दिन से चल रहा है and all. You're like, I don't know. You imagine your stuff. So yeah, and somehow Bheem trusts me with these things. So like, he will do something. So yeah, I auditioned for it. That's how it happened.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
similar.
yeah.
Got a call from Mukesh Habra's office, Beam on the other line. Got the audition scene was the first scene of the series.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
literally
where you
that
come for
scene.
the
That was the and another scene which was me coming back. There were two scenes given, but it was an audition of an audition in that sense. How Vikram sir said before also. So it was just an interesting approach, and there's one line which was in a crisp indigo dyed shirt with a newly grown
Mustache.
thin mustache and young kind of. So I went and got a haircut. I grew a mustache and I came and did the audition. I did a few things in it. Then I didn't hear back for a while. Then I got a call back. Then I did another test, another round, and again, and then around the same timeline. I think by September, then we started to move along, and
Amazing.
there was no looking back.
Yeah.
Same.
We got the Bheem part.
Yeah,
we just
audition.
take the audition scene.
Yeah.
There's a
And,
twist though. They both made it.
Yeah.
I was not selected.
Acha.
Yeah.
And I auditioned again and came back in December. 7th or 8th.
No,
of
not December.
We
We
started
started
in
in
November,
November.
November. 7th or 5th or 6th?
October.
November.
November.
I got logged in November.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, no.
November.
Mil gaya.
Yeah. Thankfully.
So the scenes were the scenes in final episode, 7th episode.
Right.
One is with Tomar, and the other one is with Sunil in the room. So very intense scenes. Both scenes were very intense. I read the script. I said the lines are less. I want to know what's in between the lines first. How the character is,
Yeah.
what they have thought of the character. So I was given a perfect brief. So because he said he's a very silent guy, but when he speaks. So keeping that in mind, I auditioned for both of the scenes. And the second scene which I'm talking about, I auditioned in a different way than I performed. Which one is with Tomar.
Okay.
Because when you get on the set, you see the actors performing, you see where it is going, and that's the best scene, I think. My favorite scene, yeah.
Amazing.
True.
Rahul, Sidhant, anyone wants to add?
Oh, I auditioned for
What did you
Jubilee
audition
and
for?
then
Which part did you audition?
That's good. Jai Khanna.
Yeah.
Jack and so versatile.
ऐसी होती है।
Amazing. Rahul doesn't want to share.
I auditioned for Ugly. No, I didn't even audition for Ugly, by the way.
Amazing. Zahan, of course, you come from a film family, but in the buzz of Starcade, social media, you seem to be like a dark horse who's just emerged and
very
taken
dark.
over.
Kya baat hai. Wow, that's very, very, very.
So do you feel that a
fascinating.
good role or talent somehow finds its space? You don't need to just rub yourself on faces.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very grateful to be given this opportunity. I knew it was special the moment I read the brief. I mean, it was something about it. I don't know about. I can't comment on anyone else. I know that I have been fascinated by cinema and theatre
Yeah.
for a long time. I know I've been spending my time and energy learning as much as I can and trying to find people who are also equally passionate, and I think I could not have asked for a better environment to be able to attempt such a role,
Yeah.
because the amount of passion, the amount of dedication, the amount of meticulous attention to detail, the amount of effort, it's phenomenal. And that's, I think, the reason, because everyone has channeled that energy so well, is the reason why everyone has
Yeah.
appreciated it.
Absolutely. But do you feel you have had an influence of your grandparents somewhere?
I've had an influence of my family deeply, of course. They've brought me up, they've taught me everything I
Yeah.
know almost. They've kept me grounded, they've kept me open, they've kept me curious. And
Nice.
I think that I'm very lucky because, again, they've not pressured me. So they've allowed me to figure it out also while still guiding in the, it's that subtle thing.
Yeah.
And it's a dance. It's going to always be some kind of give and take. And influence is inevitable. It's inspiration. The conversations are, it's fuel. It's all fuel.
Absolutely.
So just really
Yeah.
grateful.
Anurag and Param, I wanted to ask you, tell me about your character, one thing that you kind of related with and one thing which was like completely opposite to you in personal life.
Easy.
The silence of the character, and I am not very silent in real life.
Okay.
That's the one thing. Yeah.
And one thing which is similar?
Similar, Punjab
Hmm.
and turban, because I used to tie a turban, then I cut my hair in 12th standard.
Oh.
I got them cut, yeah. So my father and everybody in my family, male, they tie a turban and kept a beard. I'm the first one to cut it off. So
Yeah.
to cut the hair, yeah. That was inherited, and Punjab was inherited.
Yeah. Did that get an opposition from family after you cut your hair?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
बेल्टे
But,
पड़ी?
not belting. They didn't. My father was like, he didn't talk to me for a month, and then the slap came in when I shaved my beard.
Okay.
कुड़ी लगदा पे यार.
Yeah.
Bichara.
Yeah.
I guess the aggressive part. I'm not aggressive in real life
Okay.
at
I
all.
was like, okay, you are.
He's a good actor.
I'm not aggressive.
Yeah.
उस मामले में I'm quite
Different.
calm. Yeah, which is different. Which I think जो common है थोड़ा सा is. I think I've made Daya innocent थोड़ा सा childlike. तो थोड़ा सा मेरे अंदर वो है. I think yeah, that's what is
Amazing.
similar.
Yeah. So now that everyone is talking about the accent that you used for Charles Shovraj, tell me about getting into the skin of it. Of course, other actors have also played it. So how difficult was it to play it differently?
Oh, fortunately, I haven't seen any other actor play Charles
Yeah.
Shovraj before. While they have, and they've done great jobs, and so I've heard. I don't know. I just led with some sort of belief that I can, because he called me and he saw it, and so that, I mean, I think along the way, what happens with me now is the process finds itself, and I just have to surrender. And there's something inside of me, I don't know, talent, as they say. You have to find it inside of you, and just like it's, that wants to sort of become someone, something which is not me.
Yeah.
So I'm unfolding it. I'm getting to know myself as I move along. So
How did you all finalize the accent bit?
Oh, I think we एक look test कर रहे थे and he just asked, he trusts. So he just asked me once, what are you doing with the accent? I said, I'm working on it. And it just came to me somehow. I had fun with it, maybe that's why. If I had taken too much pressure with it, then I think I wouldn't be able to. But I kept some space for joy because it was highly complex, this character to find. And it gets into your psyche and then, it's so...
Yeah. Rahul, of course, Tomar, I mean, you tend to sometimes hate him, but you automatically start sympathizing with him also and understand the reason behind his action. Tell me about your challenges playing it to not make it a villain.
Yeah, I had to actually trust the way it was written. Actually, it was brilliantly written on paper.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens in an actor's life is that, for example, I'll tell you, we're rewriting the script every time. When it is written, it's one writing. When the actor is doing it, he's also writing something else.
Absolutely.
And when the editor is editing it, he's also writing. So the writing process never stops, basically. And what happens is that when I was doing this character, I felt that every actor must sympathize with the character, that even if the character is very cruel, even if it is the most hated person, but an actor cannot play a Hitler if he doesn't somehow get something of that Hitler with it. So you have to borrow something from the worst character and you have to give something to the worst character. So it's a give and take between what you are playing. So I felt that Rajesh Tomar must be emotional somewhere. And it was written, he has a daughter, he has a wife, he has his personal life. And the best part about writing particularly, the first, the draft that we read, it must have come after many drafts, but the draft that we read, is that it was not, there was no opinion on anything. It was neutral in its approach. And when the writers are so sensitive that they have written something such, there are very difficult, parts also, that sensitive parts, but how neutrally they approach it, it becomes a black space for an actor to kind of write now. So that I approached it like that.
You were fab in the show, Rahul.
Thank you.
Tell me, I always wonder, I mean, of course, when you quit television, you were the national heartthrob. Everybody loved you back in Hina, although he was a red flag.
तभी कहा रेड फ्लैग होता था यार.
अब समझ आ रहा है ना red flag था. Tell me, what was that? You decided to go for it because it was such a major risk, and even now I feel that even though people love all the roles that you do, films are not releasing. For Kennedy, for example, how do you look at your career and the steps that you took, the risky steps?
I feel what one gets in life is destiny.
Yeah.
But how one gets it is self-effort. तो मेरे ख्याल से मैं lazy था. Yeah, seriously, I feel like maybe I'm a lazy actor.
Yeah.
I'm lazy. I just get comfortable into my own zone. I was watching films all 10 years. For 10 years, what I have done when I was not working, I was watching 3 films every day. Just sitting and watching films. And then I was realizing how bad as an actor I was in Hina and all this. So this was all kind of, I have not done any film school. I have not read some great, Konstantin Stanislavski and Negros Agrees and all these great authors who have written great books on acting. I was not so well, read. I have not read all those books. So I started I realized when I had interaction with a great director like Anurag Thakur, and he cast me in Ugly. Even after doing Ugly, I felt I was not good enough. So I took a break. So I'm mad maybe. And now I I kind of, even now when I see Rajesh Tomar, believe me, I swear, I think so many times, I've recorded myself. I think, oh, this I could have done a little here. Oh, this I felt that. Oh my God, why did I do this? So sometimes I just don't know what is this.
Just to hard on yourself.
So this is a
Yeah.
process, and I feel as an actor, the process is not only this. Like for example, I had a breakdown scene in it. It is just 1 second now
Absolutely.
in that. It's hardly 2 seconds. But I was crying my balls out. But that crying your balls out is the process.
Absolutely.
I think that is the process that you take it there.
Yeah.
Visual is not good.
मैंने I've never heard this saying before. Crying my balls.
Who I've learned this from? The great Anurag Kashyap. Because he told me one thing. He said it's not about between action and cut.
It's more about the process.
It's more about what happens after the cut and before the action.
Amazing.
Then only you can kind of do that.
Yeah.
It's not about that 1 second.
Absolutely.
It's about you will get the grip of this character if you do scenes like if you prepare. Sometimes an actor prepares too much for a scene. वो scene ही नहीं आता. वो scene आता ही नहीं है. मगर that preparation helps it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know.
Absolutely. Vikram and Satyanshu, I wanted to ask you how people are talking about how violence hasn't been glorified in a show, even though it was a jail, there are convicts, you could have easily gone all out. Tell me, what was the idea behind keeping it real, keeping it subtle?
Subtle, I don't know. Keeping
But
it-
not, yeah.
yeah. No, but again, it's just like what purpose is that violence going to serve other than the fact when you're seeing it through Sunil's eyes and that lens and the lens of somebody who is empathetic. So the violence is only there to shock him more than us.
Yeah.
And I think where it does in episode 1, for example, the snake scene, that is shocking. I mean, when I actually saw that the other day in the theater when we did a screening and it comes and that slash comes and music starts again, I actually jumped a little bit. I was like, oh shit, this is.
Yeah.
It's implied violence, but it works for him. It works for. Or when that guy's getting beaten up at the end of the episode, So it's more from that lens. It's when it needs to be there, it's there. When it doesn't need to be there, we just. I think people are more upset about the fact that I've actually shown shit. More than the violence. They're like, but you showed it. And I'm like, but it's.
Our team.
They've made them more. That's made them more upset.
But also in an age where alpha men is celebrated, the projection of masculinity has also been very different. Tell me if any one of you have a story to share where you realize that you don't need to be a dhakar to be a man. You can be a man.
Unfortunately, very late in our lives.
Yeah.
When we grow up, all the things that if you are not a typically a masculine boy, all the things that you are teased about end up becoming your biggest merits. Your kindness. Your right. You'll become a better husband, better father, better if you're kind, right? Not if you're a bull, right? But unfortunately, all these stereotypes that are attached while growing, when we are teenagers, and we are ashamed of these things. Okay, why am I not muscular?
Yeah.
Why am I not tough? And unfortunately, the real bit comes very late in life.
Yeah.
You learn it, and the good thing is that you do. I mean, I think most of us have learned it, not so much been taught it kind of growing up. But we've learned it through our own interactions, our own friends, our own
Mistakes.
our own mistakes. We've all been idiots at the age of 20 with lots of testosterone and stuff. So I think that's happened. I think fatherhood for me is made me far more, especially being father of a daughter, has made me far more aware, of positive and negative masculinity.
I was once traveling to the set. This is actually during Freedom at midnight though. Early in the morning at 7 o'clock, and I think I was going towards Malad, and I had a new driver. His name is Abdul. She was driving, and suddenly there was this car. वो metro का काम चल रहा होता है ना, you know how the roads are. Early in the morning at 7, someone's honking from behind, honking, and I was like, side दे दो Abdul, and then he gave, उसने left पे ली, and the car came, and there were 3 guys, and he started abusing the driver. माँ बहन की गंदी गालियाँ. And then I don't know, he kept quiet, this guy, and then he started shouting. I said, don't. And then he said, पता नहीं वहाँ से तुझे भी मारूँगा और उसको भी मारूँगा, something weird. And I just said, side पे रोक दो. So अब्दुल ने side पे गाड़ी रोकी, and then, you know, वो जो चौड़ में घूमते हैं. So he also parked. I just got out of the car. I said, Abdul, sit. And I went to his car, and so he was driving. उसने windows नीचे की हुई थी. And I said, and he started just abusing. So I don't know what the frustration people carry. Shofar, and the moment he was going to him, I knew that he's getting violent, and I came in between. I said, मुझसे बात कर, problem क्या है? I don't know what happened to him. Then he started to walk towards his own car, and I didn't leave him. I went with him.
सीने में जलन, दिल में धुआं सा
Yeah,
क्यों?
I was like, are you okay? I was like, problem क्या है? Problem क्या है? And I'm asking his friends, is he okay? He's just going on abusing, I don't know. And Abdul also, you know, was standing there, whatever. And then suddenly, before getting into the car, he just turned and like pushed me with all his force.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just kept standing where I was. And Abdul suddenly took over and he held him like that. And then he's a giant guy, Abdul, you know, just like, he held him. I was like, sir, ko mara to tere ko marunga. What? What is that? I said, Abdul, piche hat, yaar, marna aasan hai, you know, let him be. And then he just sat in his car and he started crying. That guy. You know, he started crying, and then people were there, and you know how halla ho gaya tha and all that, and some cops came, and I said, sir, I mean, people are frustrated, let them go.
What an anticlimax.
Yeah, it's like literally, and they left. I sat in the car, and I was actually playing Nehru. So I think I was in character. I you know, non-violence and all of that. I really think I was in character because I could see him. I was getting riled up, and you know, it's like I knew if I just like one punch, I was craving, and then I was like, no, can't. And then I sat in the car. I told Abdul, literally like that. I was like, you know, किसी पे हाथ उठाना आसान है, but when you do it, it never leaves you. You know, it's scarring. So just leave it. And then उसके बाद we were just moving, and then वो बहुत Abdul is like, sir, देखो कितनी आराम से गाड़ी चला रहा है अभी. So, you know, and the moment we went ahead, वो horn मारना शुरू हो गया. These people. I mean, so you know, I mean, it's that alpha thinking.
Yeah.
Weird.
You want to add on to that?
I don't think I could if I tried. I don't think so.
Okay.
What does one say?
But also individually, lastly, I wanted to ask you, I mean, of course, through Sunil's experience, we get to see that as honest as you are, you need to learn the truth to survive in any place that you are in. One lesson that you all learned that you need to survive this industry, maybe.
I've said this before also, you can't do it alone.
Okay. Amazing.
You can't do it alone.
Teamwork. A group grows. Individually, it's very difficult, and I don't think so. Individually, you can grow. A group grows. So stick together.
Yeah. Rahul?
किस्मत, भाग्य, लक, बाकी सब बकवास है. अगर ये होगा तो you will survive. ये नहीं होगा तो बहुत, you know, there never was nor will be an antelope of gold. Yet Rama went in search for one. वो तो भगवान था. उसको नहीं पता था golden हिरन नहीं होता. फिर भी गया. Our best wisdom is in weighing against fate.
Exactly. True.
कुछ नहीं, best wisdom जो है किसी काम का नहीं.
Amazing.
ये सी राजा गोपालाचारी
I'm too new to answer this question, but I think ये सारी चीज़ें तो है ही. I think अपना basic nature नहीं खोना चाहिए, ना खो जाए इस रास्ते में. वो मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि चाहे कुछ भी हो, वो एक basic nature जो है वो खो ना जाए. और अच्छे लोग मिलते जा रहे हैं. Luckily मैं बहुत lucky हूँ कि मुझे भी अच्छे लोग मिलते जुड़ते जा रहा हूँ मैं, और ऐसे रहे तो बहुत मजा आएगा. बहुत आसान हो जाएगा, फिर तो बहुत easy हो जाएगा.
What was the question?
So one lesson that you learned through
To survive
in this industry. Maybe when he learned like long back.
Yeah, exactly.
So, not specific to Black Warrant.
No, not specific.
Oh, in general, I have too many lessons.
How can you choose? So many
You could share a few at least.
I think not losing your individuality, I think, is probably the number one.
Authenticity.
Thing. Authenticity, keeping yourself unique. I mean, we tell unique stories, and then that's who you are. Your unique stories are you. Within that, you have to find your audience, and sometimes your audience might be small, it might be big. But just keeping yourself unique, I think, is it's tough, but I think that's the biggest lesson.
Yeah.
I would say find someone who shields you
Okay.
from this industry and,
yeah.
and protects you,
Nice.
gives you the space to do your work.
Wow.
Very nice.
Kya baat hai.
I think meditate because so much chaos.
Also very, very good point.
And I've been told you guys are not answering this, but I have to ask you, what about season 2? Is that in the pipeline?
My lawyer's outside. You can talk.
Talking to my
Leading the fifth.
Better call Saul.
And I appreciate your faith.
Yes.
No one got the answer and you're still asking.
Yeah.
I think it's all about hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.